Hello everyone, welcome to Biblical Prepping. I'm Judith Garten and this is the prepper portion, and I am here to try and demonstrate to you two items we grabbed for our preparedness cabinet. I wanted to have on hand a hand grinder, and so I'd been looking for one for a while that we could use that is hand crank, and we could grind our own whole bean coffee when we want to. Now, this is a brand that I've been using. This is actually from Kroger's Simple Truth Organic. I'm actually switching to a different brand, and you'll be surprised, it's from Aldi's. I'll do a review on that when I am able to do that. I've only been able to get the ground coffee right now from Aldi's, so I did have this in storage, and I got a couple of other these in the food storage as well. But I don't like this as much as I actually like the Aldi coffee. So if you are the person who is into preparedness and you need to grind coffee in a pinch and you're out of electricity, like we've talked about in some of the other videos with power outages and whatnot, what are you going to do? Well, you can't use your blender, can't use your food processor, but you could use a hand crank coffee grinder. Now, I have two here that we've grabbed in the recent months. This one is called a camping coffee grinder. It is so compact when taken apart. It fits inside this nice little carry package. This will fit so easily in an RV or in your camping equipment or in your pantry. It will really fit easily in your pantry, and it will grind the coffee you need. Now, I had been using my percolator and recently switched to a French press, and I haven't tried the coffee yet in the French press, but I have to say this camping grinder has truly impressed me. Let me show you really quick the 3 grinds I was able to get. Now you can easily adjust this, and I'll show you how in a minute. So you saw the 3 grinds. You saw that I could get a coarse grind, a medium grind, and a nice fine espresso grind. Wonderful options. So it's so simple to do. I think I might have beans still in here. Now, this one does not screw off. It pops off. And I think of all the things, this is the most difficult, as you can see. The knob has no grip on it to pull it up. That's the most difficult part. There we go. This is the lid, and it just pops right on this nub right here in the inside. The handle comes off, and it all fits neatly into your bag. But let's pretend you took this out. There's already coffee actually in here, so I'm not going to add more. Then you pop this on, put that on. Inside, you can see there are the different options for coarse grind and fine grind, if you can see on that photo. And you just turn that silver knob whichever direction you want to go, from coarse or to fine, and that adjusts your grind. The directions are a little bit more precise on how to do that, and I will say be very careful not to turn it too far toward the one direction, because there are springs inside that help control the grinding mechanisms, and those springs will shoot under your stove. Go ahead, ask me how I know. Anyway, once you get the spring back out from under your stove, you reassemble your grinder, set it to your grind level, and it's so simple. You just do this. Does it take a long time? About 5 minutes to get what I need to grind. It takes about 5 minutes for what I've been using in a percolator. It would take a little bit less time if I'm grinding for the French press, because I don't put as much water in that. Therefore, I won't need as much coffee. as you can hear, it's now done. No more grind, or no more beans in the grinder. And then everything is caught right in here. Let me grab a little white plate. And here's your grind. Right there. That is enough for me to use in the French press, and it was just a little bit of beans in the grinder. Then when you want to take it apart and store it, hey, that came off easier that time. I probably didn't push it down as hard. It's so simple to just take it apart. I'm actually usually lazy and I leave the knob on there. And then you put it right in here. You have, it comes with a scoop that has a brush attached that fits in the bottom here. Your knob fits in, and your lid. And if you're not going to use this frequently and you don't know exactly how to use it all the time, what's the one thing I make sure I would put inside? The directions, so that while you're out camping or in the middle of a power outage, you don't have to panic on how to make your coffee. There you go, look at that. Fits easy, and then this pouch here zippers nicely when you make sure the directions are in there. Now I try to make sure, because there's always a little bit of coffee left in here. Oh, this time it surprised me, there isn't. So I make sure that this is set up here, because usually the cup or the pointy part of the handle might be in the way. And you close it up, zip it, and you're good to go. You're ready to store it again, or you are ready to go camping again. And like I said, if you're in an RV or something, this can go in such a nice small area to be carried in your vehicle, or like I said, in your storage. Now, option number 2 of the coffee grinder. And remember, subscribe and turn on notifications for all of our upcoming videos. I'm trying to do a lot of shorter videos so that you can get through them quickly. This next grinder we saw because Jim and I really like some of the steampunk style decor, and he really felt that this one was very steampunk. This one arrived in this nice little box here, and the instructions are all inside. And this actually does grind coffee. You might be surprised. I was surprised. I wasn't sure it was going to work as well, but this one actually does a better espresso grind than this one. I ground 3 different. I ground coarse, medium, and espresso, just like I did with this other hand grinder here. And I am very impressed with this one in particular for the espresso grind. It is very, very fine. It's like cocoa. It was so wonderful. Now this one, I really wanted because it reminds me of one my great-grandparents had and then my dad ended up with. I don't know where that grinder is now, but I remember he had one. It was bigger. And the drawer on it was about twice the size of this little teeny tiny drawer. And I don't know if you can see or not. Here. I actually have used it to test it. That's how I know about the grind. This collects all your coffee grounds. And it's so simple to use as well. Make sure your drawer's in there straight. This one I'm going to show you. The little hopper is this part here. It came with a little scoop. You just take your beans in your scoop, dump them here into the little hopper, close your door, and this is so easy. It's got a little knob here. You just push it open or close, open and close, simple. And then, now I'm going to do this your direction. It can be done left or right-handed. You just have to make sure that your hand is going the right direction to complete the grind. And I don't know if you can hear that. Hopefully you can hear that now. Then you just grind. Left-handed this way, right-handed would be this way. And keep your fingers away from here. These gears will pinch. Now, how do you adjust the grind on this one? You actually adjust the grind by unscrewing this knob on the top. Keep an eye on your spring. You don't want it shooting under the stove. Then there is this piece here, which is called the locking tab. Remember the locking tab, then the spring, then the knob. Then you just make sure that you either push this all the way down, which you can't push it any further down because I haven't adjusted. This nut here is the adjustment nut right here. And it is what you do to push it down further or raise it up. I had it a little bit further up. There we go. Then to reassemble, you take your locking tab, then your spring, and push your spring down and adjust your knob like so, and then you go back to grinding. You do have to hold on to it really tight. It took me a little bit to figure out that this is a good place for my hand. You might feel that there's a different way. This one in particular makes a nice grinder as well as a nice conversation piece. It's like a little piece of art or history that you could store. How long does this one take? About the same amount of time as the other one does, believe it or not. Very simple. And then pull out your drawer. And this one is not grinding very quickly. I might have to crank a little faster. It only did that much. So let's try this faster. What I'm doing here is probably about a medium to fine on the grounds, but you could tighten it a little bit more and you should be able to make a nice espresso grind, or you could do more coarse. This is actually about equal to this one over here as far as texture goes. So like I said, it is going to take you about the same amount of time or maybe a little longer with this one. I like both models. I really do. I think that they're both very handy, and depending on your personal needs or desires, you may decide to go with the camping one, which is compact, or the decorative one, or buy them both. I really do enjoy them both. However, on a quick and early morning when I need to get things done, I'm going to probably go to the pre-ground. And then I can enjoy a nice, fresh, hot cup of coffee. Blessings and shalom.